Welcome to Dan's on the Street. I am Dan. I'm exploring the whole world, city by city, seen through Google Maps and Google Street View. And today I'm in an interesting place, on an island, the island of Curaçao, and the city of Willemstad, the capital, which really makes up the large majority of the population and almost the large majority of the island. Very interesting city. I'm excited to check this out, explore it. This is an island country in the Dutch Caribbean. It's a constituent country of the Kingdom of the Netherlands still. It's independent, but also definitely still officially part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Let's get on the street and check this out. There's going to be some beautiful sights, I think. Lots to see, lots to look at. Oh, and very beautiful place this is. Lovely sky out. Immediately we're going to be seeing just a fair amount of Dutch architecture. A very unique kind of look to the buildings. Beautiful palms. It's interesting to see that Dutch architecture with the palms all around. Can I take a left here? Maybe not. You tell you what, let's just keep going straight. The city has a population of about 150,000 people. It's not very large. Church on the left there. I've seen a couple statues already, or little busts of various figures. I'm excited to see some of that beachfront. We're gonna get down there. Don't you worry about that. For now, let's just kind of drive around a little, take in what every day might look like here if you lived in Willemstad. Nice little cafe, some outdoor seating there. Bright colors, my goodness. That yellow, almost gold yellow color. Here's some waterways. So you don't have to travel far to get to the water here. Great bridge there in the distance. Looks like a cruise ship actually over there. Interesting. Yeah, definitely a cruise destination. I'm sure we'll see some cruise ships in the harbor. Interesting. Yeah, I enjoyed reading a little bit about the Dutch involvement in this territory. I'll be honest, it's a bit of a dark past, as you know, as almost all pasts are. You look back far enough and things get pretty ugly, but still interesting. And I wasn't too familiar with much of it, so tell you what, let's pop up. I'm gonna just get a little sense of things. Okay, so that's about where we were. I like this round market here. Rond market. Almost certainly means round market. We'll drop outside there. Not sure what this originally was. Maybe it was always a market. Again, I'm really digging that distant bridge. Another same cruise ship we saw earlier. Oh, all right, bunch of things you can buy here. People selling stuff. Way back, the original inhabitants of this island were the Arawak and the Kaketios. That's what I read. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. They were here at least several hundred years before the Europeans arrived in 1499. Crisscross. Interesting. Bunch of people out and about, shopping. Looks very inviting in here. This is definitely a destination point if you come and visit, I'm sure. All kinds of shops. Kind of want to pop inside this round building, right? For now, though, let's just take this in. Clothing. People just lounging. Very nice out. Sunny. Bright. Get one of these fruit shakes. Definitely get that Caribbean feel, but then it is interesting. The architecture kind of throws you off a little bit, in a good way. Like it feels good here, but there's something different that hadn't said it's past, and Wow, great views out here. All these red roofs. Old tall masted ship there. Okay, here are the buses. Wonder if these are people heading to the cruise ships or just, maybe just general city buses. Alright, before we go too far, let's just pop inside this kind of unusual building. It's quite the location it has. Seems like there was an image we could get in there. A couple. Oh, very interesting. Alright. Looks like there's a bunch of shops set up in here. Yeah, it's just further shopping. Cool that they painted this. What a unique structure. Oh, I thought that was a real bird for a second. Run to market. Yeah, not sure if that was always a market or not. Let's drop onto the Queen Emma Bridge if we can. See things over here. Great pedestrian bridge. Beautiful water out there. And those colorful buildings. Very distinct. I'm going to remember that if I see a picture of that. I'll know where I was. Great bridge. Let's get over on the other side maybe. Just walk around a little bit. Yeah, so the Spanish arrived here. Oh, here's their flag, I guess. Yeah. Nice flag, I like that. The Spanish arrived in 1499. And when they did, they basically immediately enslaved the population that was here. As was, I guess, somewhat common. Yeah, not good. And then pretty quickly, so a short time later, basically, the Netherlands achieved independence from Spain. And, love this building here. And in 1634, they then invaded the island and took it for themselves. Kicked off the Spanish who were here. Took over control of everything. And then it became an island for trade and commerce. And as well as salt mining, I was reading. Oh, here's the cruise ship down here. Big old thing. Let's drive along here a little way, see if we see a ship out there. Oh yeah, oh, a couple ships, okay. Definitely a destination or a stopping point. People taking Caribbean tours or whatever. South American tours. Some hotels up here perhaps. Vacationers it looks like there. Oh, movie theater. Jumanji 3D, Jumanji 4D. I didn't even know that was an option. 4D. Big roundabout here. Nice boulevard, great palms. Nice little stretch in there. A mangrove wildlife reserve. That's cool. And a first-class gym on the right. Not a second class. There it is. Quite the artwork. That's funny. Bunch of little vehicles, nothing too big. Well, yeah, a few trucks, but mostly smaller stuff. I'm sure importing things into this island gets expensive, including fuel and, well, just vehicles themselves. And food. I'm sure they produce a fair amount of food on the island, but I'm sure a lot gets imported. School bus here. Yeah, back to his history. So the Dutch West India Company then, speaking of trade, they made it really the center for the Atlantic slave trade. Oh, graveyard here. Interesting. Yeah, so back to, dark history here. Some major slave trading happening here. And they brought over basically the enslaved Africans they brought here, and then they were traded and brought elsewhere in the region. Not good. It was all back in the 1700s, thereabouts, late 1600s. Yeah. Here's a fort. There's several forts in here. Here's Fort Nesau, which I think it looks like it's been turned into a restaurant, perhaps. Oh, neat. Or at least there's eating in here. Maybe there's a restaurant inside, but it's also certainly, it's got to be a museum too, you have to think. This dates back to 1797, so in the later part of that era. Nice view. Looking out over things. Maybe we can get a picture up here. Ah, very nice. Okay, one more time, there's that bridge spanning that gap. Beautiful light. Great vision, you could really see what's going on in the harbor from up here. No wonder they built a fort up here, and way out into the ocean you can see ships coming in. Interesting. Dutch Caribbean Curaçao office. Just reading some of these. Big time resort here. Let's get down by the water. Drive along the beach a little bit. Man, look how close those cruise ships come to the edge. It must get deep quick, right? They're not that far out. It's gotta get deep quick. Beautiful. Goodness, would I love to take a swim out there. People got boats here, maybe selling a few things. Big storage for oil on the right. We'll talk about some of the oil a little bit later. You may have noticed there's a lot of tanks around. Quiet street along here. The John F. Kennedy Boulevard. That's interesting. I wonder if Kennedy used to come down here. Perhaps. This place is abandoned. Can't read that. Interesting. I like this road here though. A nice little table set up here. You could grill. Goodness, wouldn't that be a nice afternoon with the family? Yes. Go out in the water a little bit. Boy, you could have a good time down here. I am sure of that. Here's another resort. Let's drop outside of that. Well, tell you what, let's just drop into somebody's picture here, see what we see. Oh yeah, come on. Come on. Great sights. Living it up. Taking a break. That sounds great right about now, I tell you what. Really great. Let's see. Big shopping center here. Kind of a cool look to this, isn't it? Let's just drive down the street outside there. It's a mall, I think, essentially, but I like that building design. Ooh, somebody's got a Porsche. Yeah, so major slave trading happening here. And there's actually, I read that there was a massive slave revolt in 1795 involving thousands and thousands of enslaved people, and they rose up, and after about a month though, they were suppressed, I'm sure at unimaginable cost to their life. and well-being. But interesting. What's going on here? It's all blurry. Yeah, forget that. Just pull up. There's a big hill right in here. There's a number of these large... I'm not sure if this was volcanic way back, or what its story, how it formed. I don't actually know that. Big cell phone, radio towers up there. Smaller buildings. It's a very attractive landscape though. It's rocks. You know, it's not just beaches, it's like beaches and very unique formations. And parts, it gets very green pretty quickly. I don't want to say jungle setting, but pretty quickly it gets green. Not sure how much of that was planted or natural. Back to its history. So I read that finally in 1863, the Dutch abolished slavery, which is kind of later than I expected to hear. Let's go over this side of things. See what life looks like over here. And I'm sure it wasn't, I read a little bit, it wasn't as if they just gave the slaves their freedom and then, a piece of land or something. Things were still not good if you are a formerly enslaved person here. Not good at all. But I think an improvement, and over time things improved, certainly, obviously. Well, I didn't expect to be talking so much about slavery, but reading about it here, it was like, wow, that was a really significant part of your history. Really significant. If you're enjoying this, consider supporting me on Patreon. It's $1. I got a bunch of bonus tours up there, visiting all kinds of places around the world. And if you join, much better odds your suggestion of a place to visit will get heard. Try to get to places people have suggested on there. Not always, but certainly make an effort. Nice street in here. Some bright paint on some of these buildings. Bright reds and yellows, greens. I like it. Feels happy. Some guys out working, beautifying this like center divide. All right, let's pop up again. There's a little stadium up here, not too big, but maybe we could glance in there. Oh, no, we cannot. All right. Onward we shall go. Yeah, like I was saying, I don't know what you call this growth. Not jungle, but pretty densely green. So then the next big moment in its history, from what I read, is in 1914, oil was discovered in the region. Not so much on the island, there may have been some, but it was discovered in the region. And Willemstad and Curaçao really quickly established themselves as like a destination for refining. And you'll notice if you look at the city, it's all, there's this huge harbor here, whatever, but a big part of it is this giant refinery. Look at that. Major operation here. And currently in operation still, of course, over 100 years later. Let's drive alongside it. I don't know that we'll see very much. It's probably walled in. Oh no, you can see it. All right. Wouldn't begin to know what I'm looking at there. I've never spent much time considering the process of refining oil, despite a lifetime of using refined oil. Can't say I've spent too much time considering it. Maybe I've heard a bit about it, the process. So much of that, the oil process, like, defines how we got here geopolitically. Countries that had oil, countries that didn't, those that could refine it. There's plenty to read about. Be curious how alternative sources of energy upend some of those, power structures. Some for good, some might be difficult for a lot of countries who really have relied on it. That'll be interesting to follow in the coming century. Another view there. Interesting. These days, Venezuela actually leases this. So I think the oil you're seeing there is Venezuelan oil. That's an interesting partnership. Again, great view of these buildings down here with the red roofs. Major cruise ship there. Up on this bridge. This must be the big one here, I think. No pedestrian. Well, you know what? Actually, there's pedestrian walkway there. Sorry. Ooh, a little bit scary up there, though. A little bit. Hotel, resort down there. Little church of some sort. Actually, I wanted to see. That might be. I was reading that the oldest synagogue in the Americas is right here on this island. See if we can find that. Here's the other large fort here. This is Fort Amsterdam. This dates to 1634, so very early. This, right around basically when the Dutch showed up. They built this fort, I think. Or an early version of this fort. Wow, pretty wild. Street art, graffiti there. Some figure there. Huh. You can tell this would have been a fort. Looks like there's a plaque. Not a very threatening fort, but I suppose still would have been a challenge back in the day to break in here. But decently high walls. Great old building. Love to go for a tour through there. I like this old part of town in here. Goodness, look at that stonework. That looks quite old. Love it. Let's see here. Not sure if this is that building or this might be a church or... Let me see. I think that's the church. Oh no, this is the temple. Okay, forgive me. Yeah, I was reading about this temple a little bit. The building dates to 1730. Boy, it looks like it's in great shape, doesn't it? I don't want to say it looks new, but it looks really clean and sharp. But yeah, this is a Jewish synagogue. There was some large settlement of some sect of Judaism that came early. I forget the name. But they were here back in the 1600s. And they finally built this building in 1730. Looks fantastic. Again, looks almost new. Wonderful buildings all through here. Little plaza. A lot of parking in here. It's a pity it's not more open. Hey, this is nice. To pedestrians. I guess portions of this are. I mean, you gotta park somewhere. Santa's Factory. Alright, maybe it's Christmas time here. Maybe. February 2020. Well, that didn't work. Forgive me. I wanted to see the more recent date there. I know we haven't seen too much, but where should we go? Where should we go? New Netherland. Just want to see some of this beauty. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, yeah. Make me want to visit here. That'll do. Like these little pools here. Just swim in there. Feel a little safer. You know, there's no sharks coming in there, I don't think. Or if that's a concern. Excuse me. This is great. Beautiful sunset. Just want to literally dive right in. The Octagon Museum, alright. Looks like some great restaurants in there. Fishalicious. I love the name. I can't believe I've never heard of a name like that before. Fishalicious. I'd eat there. I would eat there. I'll tell you what. Here's a building you could get pretty cheap, I think. Right next to a beach hotel. Boy. A number of buildings here. Project sites, you know. But if you come back in a few years, or maybe already those are being remodeled, wouldn't surprise me at all. In more recent history then, so Curaçao became an autonomous country within the Kingdom of the Netherlands in 2010, quite recently. So the Netherlands is still responsible for defense and foreign policy, but otherwise they're quite independent. Which that's good. It seems like they're slowly gaining more and more independence over the decades and centuries. Nice beaches. Everywhere you drop in, it's like, I'd love to hang out there for an afternoon. At least. At least. Big building up in here. What else should we look at? Oasis, Coral Estates. Very nice. Yeah, I'd love to get down here someday. This part of the world certainly would be happy to visit here. Willemstad. Happy. And I want to get to some more of these islands in here. I don't know if they're still called the Antilles or some of the, the Dutch Caribbean. There's a number of interesting islands that I want to explore because it's good history, and sometimes I kind of lump them together in my mind as being, oh, those are just like vacation islands, which is really, that's not cool, because each one is unique and has its own history and its own unique set of people. And it's worth learning more about, worth seeing, and hopefully worth visiting someday. Again, this terrain is really unique. I'm a fan. Alright, I know I didn't see everything. For now, though, I'm going to add to my map. Let's see. It's been a little while since I've done this. I recently moved, so forgive me for the break in my videos. This is certainly the longest I've gone without recording. Let's see. There it is on the map. There it is. If you enjoyed this, let me know some other places you think I might enjoy visiting. Look at that, Bon Air. All kinds of interesting places here we could go to. And we will visit in time. Give me time. Yeah, let me know where else I should go. And if you really enjoyed this, consider subscribing. And certainly check out some of the other places I've been. Been all around the world. Each of these blue dots represents places I've been. Slowly exploring this little place we call home. Alright, till next time.